fields, the open sky, the clouds, the worries pass me by.
Our third glimpse into farming, a look to the future, takes us to one of the most remote farming regions in the country, Liberty County, Montana. One would think that you could see the future of farming in the Midwest, where the richest farmland in the world is a gift of nature. But Midwest farming is stuck in the past. To see the future, one has to travel to where water and nutrients are not luxuriant, to visit a group of young farmers that are implementing methods better for the livelihood of not just themselves, but their community, while feeding the world with nutritious food. The central plain of northern Montana is known as the Golden Triangle, a region bounded by Great Falls, Havre, and Shelby. This farmland is known for its monocropping of wheat. After the Dust Bowl, farmers created mile-long strips to grow a crop or lay fallow in alternating years. The fallow ground was tilled 3 times a year to manage weeds. With the growth in industrial farming, weeds are now controlled with herbicide applications, which further destroys the organic life of the soil. However, today, Montana is #1 in the nation for harvested acres of dry edible peas, lentils, and chickpeas. A thriving new industry of pulse crops is sprouting along the High Line. It's here that farming is changing. Its cooler climate and railroad infrastructure have opened new farming alternatives. Farmers are growing as many as 5 different crops on their land. Entrepreneurs are converting older grain elevators into pulse crop processing plants. Crop agronomists are developing a variety of precision agricultural tools for minimizing inputs and maximizing production against changing climate challenges. How did this happen? How long have you promoted pulse crops?
Oh, it's probably been the last 15 years. They tried it probably 30 years ago and it didn't work out. Of course, it was drought years, and now with winter years. And then we started doing chem fallow, and that made a bunch of difference. So now with the pulse crops, they can actually get rotation for them, so they can actually plant the pulse crops and turn around and put winter wheat back on the crop and almost get like a double crop. And we had some product, but you couldn't move it because there's nobody around locally enough to handle it. Actually, I was in a grain and barley plant for years and years, and I actually had to convert over into the pulses.
I mean, it's no secret. I mean, we've got this big pulse plant here. We've got one in Hingham now. You know, I mean, they're setting up for this. You know, and so there's contracts start getting out there. You know, and they hear these, and as people have had success with these crops, you know, then they have to listen.
When you've got relatives in Canada telling you for 20 years, Christ, eat lentils and chickpeas.
They've been telling me.
Well, I remember we won 2 years running there. We used all peas for the protein source. Mm-hmm. With the mineral supplement, we won less than $100 for 2 years running. Pigs was only 28 cents in them 2 years, but we still cleared a 27% profit.
So everything that comes out of here is USDA #1.
Which is
and it's
the
less than
definition.
1%, less than 1% damage there, less than 2% cracked seed coats on a pea, 0 foreign material. You should be able to just take it from there to the store after it leaves here.
Probably peas is the best.
The green peas, or
there's
green peas and yellow peas.
Yellow peas is more of a feed, but they're actually using yellows as they actually take it to China now and make flour out of it. So actually, yellow peas are going for food processing now too.
Okay.
Yellow peas used to just be a straight feed.
Okay, but green peas, that's your favorite pulse crops out here? Do you think that's the best for the High Line along here?
That, as far as your return.
Yes, okay.
Lentils do really well in certain years, but lentils is a short plant, so and they shell out.
And not have to spray for weeds and chem fallow 3 times a year, and bring something back, put added value, nitrogen back into the soil, and bring a commodity back into the market and have something to market.
This success has not come without its share of challenges. It involved change and uncertainties. Ideas to move away from the monoculture of wheat were tried 30 years ago but failed. It took the next generation of farmers and local business leaders to ignore "we tried that before" and establish a new farming system for the High Line.
We essentially have to treat it like it's a restaurant or a kitchen, the facility. Floors clean, I mean, no dust. It ain't like your typical when you used to go into the old elevator, the old feed store there, and there's dirt, people wandering around, doors open, birds flying around. And, you know, it's It's definitely a whole different deal there.
I mean, you know, we can take a field and look at it, satellite imagery, and say, okay, we're going to plot, you know, here, this is where we'll take all our soil samples, and then you can feed that back in, and then variable rate spread it to, you know, whatever you're trying to shoot for your yield goals and stuff. And like you say, it's all trying to grow a crop that is that high all the way through.
Yes.
Top and bottom, you know.
There was one U.S. farm program that helped break through this barrier. The Transition Incentives Program, TIP, connects beginning farmers with landowners having expiring CRP contracts. 2 additional rental payments are made to the landowner on the condition they rent this land to a beginning farmer. That farmer must return the land to production using sustainable farming methods. Many young farmers in Chester took advantage of this program. This CRP land included a special capability that it was readily available to meet organic crop standards. These young farmers could not only get a boost to start on their own, but were able to immediately deliver organic quality foods, something their generation was already desiring. After a few years, the farmers and processors came to the undesired realization that organic farming was not going to be economically sustainable. Without any modern tools, the soil and crop has little chance against the weeds and dry climate.
The thing about, you know, organics is, I mean, it's healthy, but you cannot grow bushels enough to feed the world. And now, organic prices and the commercial is that used to be, you know, organic was paying $20 a bushel. Well, they've came way down. You know, ours are going up. So now the incentive to stay organic is going to be more a situation of your conscience than the economics of pretty soon.
This new farming, referred to as regenerative farming, is better for the soil, offers more options for the farmer, provides a high-quality product for the processors, and delivers a healthy food to the world.
Before it was all chem followed. You just run through 2,4-D and spray everything out. Now there's an option to go back into the spring crop and put some pulses in there, which add nitrogen back into the soil there, and limit the chemical exposure to the ground.
The Chester community achieved this against what would seem impossible odds of limited financial resources and an extreme climate. This multi-cropping farming took some balancing between the farmer's resources and the elevator investing in the market and processing facilities. Over 5 years, this tight community came together to make it work economically for everyone. This ability to come together was recently captured as national news. On September 25th, 2021, the Empire Builder Amtrak train derailed just east of Chester. The accolades and respect for this entire community noted by the 138 surviving passengers and 17 Amtrak crew members would fill a book, but that is for another story.
I've been living in this town for so long, I know the sound of all the shadows on the wall. I've been driving down this road, close my eyes, nowhere to go. Shadows on the wall.